Good morning, it is Jane with Scraptastic Yarns, and I have some finished things. But first, I'm going to show you my husband's finished things. You know, I told you he was loom knitting, so that is exactly what he's doing. Made himself a hat, and this one is with Loops and Threads Charisma in the color Ashes. And then, you know, he had his chemo, and of course, go to Hobby Lobby, and I forgot to get a color for me. I'd gotten the rest of the yarn for the prayer shawl grant money, had taken care of all of that, and was thinking that I was getting all the yarn I needed to get, and I failed to get me a certain color. But we did pick up. We went back the next day when he did his disconnect, which was Thursday. So we stopped in there, and he went in and he picked some yarn. He picked some Yarn Bee Color Play in the color Laser Show, and he made a child size hat. So he's been busy. He's got another one that he started. He's trying to think about working on doing some scarves. Not sure how much he needed, but here's the problem we ran into. I didn't look at how much yardage there is in color play. There's only 76 yards. I was thinking one was plenty for a full-grown adult hat, and it is not. And so we determined we think he'll probably need about 3 to 4 skeins to do a scarf to go with the hat. So he ordered that online. And the next color he picked was Mountain Bluebird in the Yarn Bee Dream Spun. Look how pretty that is. It's gorgeous. So he has made a total of 3 hats. Started on his 4th. And I'm very proud of my husband. He's doing a great job with it. Okay. Now, as you know, I needed to make a scarf to go with this hat, and what I did is I made a cowl. This is the Primrose Cowl by Bag a Day, and sorry, this camera just like it's on its own rotation. So I did make that hat to go with this, and I'm going to tell you the colorway. And then I had started a child size hat. Got the hat finished. And this is at Yarnspirations. It's the Ridges hat. Goes 2 through 4, 8 through 10, and adult. And so that is that hat. That is at Yarnspirations. And then I started a scarf to go with it, and the colorway is Daydreamery. It is I love this yarn, found at Hobby Lobby, and the color is Daydreamery. So that is something that I am currently working on. And then of course, you know, I had the Divine hat done in the grape. Did a scarf to go with it. You know, I'm all about getting those things together, that kind of stuff. And then I needed to make a scarf for this hat that I had showed you last week. And this is done in Paint Party. And so I did a scarf to go with that. What stitch did I use? You know, the single crochet, double crochet, skip 2, single crochet, double crochet, skip 2. What is that? I don't think it's sedge stitch. It might be. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. It's either that or no, it's not linen stitch. Maybe it is sedge stitch. I'm not going to worry about it. Y'all can figure it out, right? Well, this is the yarn that I went back for. You know, I've been doing the birthstone make-along with Witch Piece Judy Crafts. And I wanted something that represented citrine. And some of the natural citrines has some inclusions that are those little black specks. Did I remember to bring up that yarn label? Of course not. It's something flex. But it is a mustardy color, but it works well for the citrine. And that's added to this blanket. We have one more blanket, you know, Nan's Next Knots. And I had 2 weeks to catch up on. Why did I do that many rows? It's the wrong end. Here's the end. So, the week previous was this one, which is the seafoam color, and then the next color was the number 7 number, which is my fruit salad. And there's that. And as always, I'm loving it. Now, I did get a couple of the bags finished. These two are drawstrings. I have 3 of each of those. And I have another one of the regular Sally and Jack in that purple color. However, I ran out of interfacing, so I had to wait for interfacing to show up. And then I've got the Christmas bags cut out, but I need the interfacing for it, so we're stuck waiting for interfacing to show up. It's supposed to show up today, so I'm hoping to get the rest of those bags out so that they can be put in the shop for Friday. But I have to go take the car in for an appointment. The check engine light came on. Not a happy camper. So I had to go make an appointment. So I get to go this afternoon to see how much more money they're going to take from us to repair the item. We're hoping that it was just an issue of that it misfired, you know. But you can never tell. And when I walked in, I was telling the girl, she said, well, it kind of sounds like it might just be, you know, spark plugs. I said, y'all changed spark plugs and did the whole 9 yards in May. I said, although the sticker that you left on the car says that you did it May the 22nd, 2022, that tells me a little bit about the competency of the people working in the back. But you did the whole 9 yards, did a whole tune-up. So hopefully that's not it. Hopefully it's not something worse. My husband said that a lot of mechanics like to skip that last plug because you have to take the head off to get to it. I'm hoping that's not the case because if you ask me, they need to give us a freebie for that one. But, you know, the guy that has this company double charges everybody and everything else. Unfortunately, we cannot take it to another garage because it's a Ford issue. And they will do oil changes. They will rotate the tires. They will do other things. But when it comes to the check engine light, they will not do anything. You have to go to the Ford house. So there we're stuck. Life is full of fun, isn't it? I just got to keep the car going for another year. You know, it's just one of those things. What are you going to do? You're stuck with it. You don't have a choice. You have to go with it. All that kind of stuff. And my plans today was I have a bag that I want to make for myself. I was going to cut that this afternoon, so of course that'll have to wait till this evening so I can get it done because it's a sample as well for someone who wants a certain type of bag but she's not sure it will work as a gift for the person she plans on giving it to. So I wanted to get that done so she could see that, so I could make her the bag for her friend, or we could choose something else. Yeah, just crazy. All right, are you ready for a little what in tarnation? I know I am. You know, HOV lane people are always trying to get around having to have more than one person in the car with them. HOV lane user dressed up seat to look like a passenger. Police in New York said a man traveling in a high-occupancy vehicle lane was stopped when an officer noticed the passenger was just the back seat, dressed in a jacket and hat. The Suffolk County Police Department said in an Instagram post that Officer Cody Exum stopped the driver on the Long Island Expressway at 9 a.m. Thursday when he noticed the passenger in the car traveling in the HOV lane did not look quite right. The officer quickly discovered the front seat passenger was not a passenger at all. It was the front seat dressed up to look like a person with a jacket pulled over the seat and a hat and a hood on the headrest. The post said the driver was ticketed for an HOV occupancy violation. People, don't do this. It's stupid. It doesn't work. They get you every time. Apparently, South Carolina has an issue with hogs. Deputies wrangle loose road hog, blocking traffic in South Carolina. Police were called to a South Carolina road to wrangle a loose pig that was so massive it broke its owner's trailer. That's one big hog. The York County Sheriff's Office said 2 lanes of Old York Road had to be closed in the town of York on Thursday night when a huge hog was found wandering loose on the highway. The sheriff's officer said in a Twitter post that deputies were able to round up the road hog and get it in contact with the owners and the animal's owner. The owner attempted to transport the sizable swine, named Peppa Pig, to their home, but the trailer broke under the weight of the animal. The sheriff's office brought in a horse trailer to give Peppa Pig. Oh, it's not Peppa, it's Papa Pig. Papa Pig a lift home, officials said. See, I can't see what I'm reading sometimes. Now, I wonder if this kangaroo was as baffled as the firefighters in Australia. Firefighters baffled by kangaroo on roof of a Queensland home. Firefighters in Australia said a kangaroo that appeared to be trapped on the roof of a home ended up rescuing itself, but how it got onto the house remains a mystery. Queensland Fire and Emergency Services firefighters said they were initially skeptical when a call came in reporting a kangaroo stranded on the roof of a Mount Isa home. We thought it was a hoax when we got the call, but sure enough, when we showed up, there it was on the roof, firefighter Patrick Buck told the Australian Broadcasting Corp. Firefighters prepared to mount a rescue to bring the marsupial back down to the ground. We went up with all our harnesses and rescue equipment, but as soon as we got there, he went off the end of the roof and jumped down into some shrubs. Firefighters said the kangaroo left the area on its own, but rescuers were left perplexed as how the animal got onto the roof of the house in the first place. We still don't know how it got on the roof. It's a mystery. And it's probably going to remain a mystery for a while. As a nurse that used to be in the nursery and NICU nurse, I'm always amazed how women who go into labor, how quickly some babies are born. Doorbell camera records California woman giving birth on lawn. A California woman who didn't have time to make it to the hospital when she went into labor delivered her baby in the front yard, where the entire scene was recorded by her doorbell camera. Emily Johnson of Vacaville said she and her husband Michael weren't in a huge rush to get to the hospitals when her contractions started November the 4th, a week before her due date, because they were 10 minutes apart and the couple's house is only 5 minutes from the hospital. Then the contractions went from 3 minutes to 2 minutes in 1 minute in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes, and we are like, oh, we've got to get into the car. We have to go, Johnson told KCRA TV. Johnson said she made it as far as the car before she realized she wouldn't get to the hospital in time. I'm going to get on the grass, she recalled. I'm going to be here. This is my spot. Johnson delivered baby Thomas with the help from her mother, Christy Sparks. Emergency responders arrived just after the infant was born. By the time they walked up to me, I had a baby in my arms crying, Sparks said. It was unreal. The birth was caught on video by the Johnsons' Ring doorbell camera. I'm just thankful that I was facing in that direction, because otherwise I don't think we'd be able to share the footage with anybody, Johnson said. Johnson said the unusual birth now makes for a great story. I joked that I was like a cow giving birth in the field, because once I got to the hospital, I had grass clippings falling right off of me, and the nurses were wiping dirt off of my knee. And I'm like, oh, I did give birth in the lawn, she said. And yes, there's video. Can you imagine being in your garage and the rarest animal in North America wanders right in? It happened. Rarest mammal in North America wanders into Colorado garage. Wildlife officials in Colorado said rescuers were summoned to a resident's garage to relocate a black-footed ferret, the rarest mammal in North America. Colorado Parks and Wildlife said a resident of Pueblo West, near Walker Ranch, contacted the agency this week to report the discovery of a ferret inside his garage. Bears in garages are old news, but an endangered black-footed ferret, the rarest mammal in North America, in a Pueblo West garage, the Wildlife Agency retweeted. The man managed to trap the ferret in a box by the time the officers arrived, the agency said. A microchip implanted in the animal revealed it was one of nine black-footed ferrets released 2 weeks earlier on a 1,600-acre prairie dog colony near Highway 50 as part of conservation efforts for the species. We don't know exactly why this black-footed ferret left the colony, Ed Schmal, an agency conservation biologist, said in a news release. We put them into prairie dog burrows, but they may not stay. Sometimes they scramble around the colony to find the right home. This one might have gotten pushed out by the other ferrets, and it went looking for a new home. We really don't know. The ferret was determined to be healthy and was successfully returned to the colony, officials said. You know, animals sometimes are too curious for their own good. So a deer in Michigan was spotted with a plastic pumpkin stuck over its face. Firefighters in Michigan are trying to locate a deer spotted wandering with a plastic pumpkin stuck over the front of its head. Jeff Ott captured video of the female deer with a Halloween bucket stuck over its face in Cascade Township. The Cascade Township Fire Department said firefighters were able to briefly capture the deer, but the animal kicked loose of the restraints and ran off before the bucket could be removed. Firefighters are asking any residents who spot the deer to contact the department. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources said the deer appears to be in good health and might manage to remove the bucket on its own. Let's hope so. Now, apparently steers in Brazil are extremely curious as well. Steer spared slaughter after waterslide adventure in Brazil. And there's video. A cattle farmer in Brazil said a steer that escaped slaughter and ended up on a waterslide at a neighboring club will now be kept as a pet. Carlos Miguel Serrante, it's a hard name to say, said the 2-year-old steer escaped from his cattle farm in Nova Granada and made its way to the neighboring India Club de Campo, where the animal ended up climbing to the top of a water slide at the pool. The deer slid halfway down the slide before coming to a stop. Video from the scene shows a man roping the steer and leading it the rest of the way down the slide and into the water. Serrante said the bovine's adventure has made it a local celebrity. He said the steer has been scheduled to be slaughtered, but will now be kept as a pet. I looked to see if he had any injuries, but he's fine. He'll stay here because of the people. The people want to know where he is. He's been the attraction. Everyone wants to know. We want to take him to the club, the farmer told news outlet G1. The steer has now been dubbed Tobaga, a Portuguese word for slide. And there you have it. As always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you again soon. I did want to tell you that I had to refilm part of the tutorial for the cowl neck warmer that I'd made you that was inspired by Bagaday's one hat pattern. So I had to refilm a portion of it. I've got to edit it, all that fun stuff. And then it will go up later this week. But as always, I hope to see you again soon. Everybody have a great week. And remember, be kind to one another. Love one another. And yes, kindness does work. Works wonders. See you guys soon. Bye.